The Trump administration has 1 week to meet a court-ordered deadline to reunite children under the age of 5 with their parents after being separated at the border. Here's the thing, though. The Department of Health and Human Services is refusing to discuss even how many families may be involved here, how many children have been reunited so far. We know last month alone, nearly 35,000 people were arrested crossing the southern U.S. border illegally. CNN national correspondent Nick Valencia joins us now live from McAllen, Texas, with more. There are so many unanswered questions, Nick.
Erica, it was 2 weeks ago that the Trump administration told us that there was 2,053 separated children in their care. A week went by, that number went down by 6 to 2,047. And now we just have no idea because HHS refuses to provide us those numbers. It's not just frustrating for the journalists here asking for those numbers, but also to the immigrants' rights groups on the ground here in Texas, which say that this is evidence that the Trump administration still has no plans on reuniting families. It was also something that the former acting ICE director spoke about earlier on CNN's New Day.
There's a very good reason why we, during the Obama administration, never, intentionally separated families. And the reason you do that is it's very hard to reunite them. Once they get caught up in the system, the children go off in one direction where it's a very slow process. The parents, when they're locked in detention, go through a very expedited process. The children get under the custody of get caught up in the foster care system. It gets very difficult to bring them back together.
Meanwhile, more bad news for the Trump administration. A federal judge ruling late Monday that they are wrongfully detaining asylum seekers, going against a long-standing policy for DHS to make a case-by-case determination for asylum seekers. That's not the case under the Trump administration. The judge ruling that they must go back to that policy. Erica, we've been covering this for several weeks now, and it seems that the Trump administration's efforts to fix what they call a broken immigration system has only caused more confusion and more chaos.
Nick Valencia with the latest for us. Nick, thank you. Joining me now to discuss further, CNN political commentator, former Republican congressman from Pennsylvania, Charlie Dent. Sir, always good to have you with us. As Nick paints there, this separation debacle continues. The administration trying to do what it saw as a fix on immigration, making things worse. Are Republicans missing a chance to lead here in terms of pressuring this administration to get some real answers, even just in terms of numbers here?
Yeah, what we're witnessing right now is the fact that we're trying to fix this situation administratively, and that is obviously not going well. Congress, on the other hand, is not able to address this issue legislatively. Just look what happened last week in Congress. An immigration reform bill dealing with the Dreamers, could not pass. And there is a lot of bitter feelings from members because they felt that various members didn't negotiate in good faith. The president sent mixed messages. And so legislatively, Congress really doesn't have the ability to change the current administration policy on these children separated at the border. So it's a very chaotic situation. I'm really not sure the path forward. I have visited these Office of Refugee Resettlement programs around in my congressional district at the time, a few years back. And I'll tell you what, I think it is hard to keep track of these kids once they're in those settings and then they're sent out. They're not they're not proximate to their parents. So I think we've got a hell of a mess on our hands, and I'm not sure the way out.
You're not sure the way out. Do you think that the administration has any sense of the way out? Because you paint this picture here, too, of Congress, and we've heard multiple times from the administration, well, Congress needs to fix this. Congress needs to do something. Democrats have told a number of us they can't get a seat at the table to have discussions with Republicans. Republicans aren't getting the support that they need and the cover that they need from the president. Based on those mixed messages alone, 2 different tweets about supporting or not supporting these various bills. Is there a sense of urgency, do you feel, within the administration to actually get this fixed?
Well, I think the administration, I don't know what their plan is right now. Congress needs to lead here. But on immigration, the problem on immigration is House leadership has demanded that the only solutions that can pass are ones that have Republican-only support, or at least the majority. And that's why there was no solution on the Dreamers last week. Because they fell a few signatures short on the discharge petition, and many of the more centrist members who were trying to come to a good faith resolution are very angry with the Freedom Caucus because they felt they didn't negotiate in good faith on this Dreamer matter. And then, of course, the president sent signals that he supported the bills, and he sent out a tweet later saying, well, he gave people a pass And so everybody's mad at everybody right now. And so the bottom line is the only way they're going to solve this legislatively is with a bipartisan fix. But that might not get you a majority of Republicans in the House.
A lot of finger pointing, and still, at least as far as we know, 2,047 children who remain separated, who should be the focus. Yeah. And to your point, here we are. I want to get your take on this because, of course, you're once chair of the House Ethics Committee. The official White House Twitter account tweeting at 2 Democratic senators, accusing them of supporting MS-13. How problematic is that it's coming from the official White House Twitter account?
Well, if he's talking about policy, I guess he's probably on safe ground. If he's talking policy, if he goes into the campaign, if it's more of a campaign statement, I haven't examined those tweets too closely, but if it's more of a campaign shot, then it clearly should be done, from his reelect account, not from an official account. So that's really the issue. If you're talking campaign, you simply cannot use your official resources to do that. But it's not clear from that tweet whether that was a campaign statement.
Let me get your take on this real quick before we let you go. We've got about 30 seconds. But these letters, according to the New York Times, that the president sent to various NATO allies, talking about it being time to pay up, all of this, of course, ahead of that upcoming meeting. What does that do to U.S. standing?
Well, first, burden sharing is a fair issue. I've raised this with our European allies for years, that they need to do more. But I think the president needs to treat this alliance as a marriage. It's a very good marriage. There are some challenges in the marriage. No one is seeking a divorce. And the way the president is conducting himself, it seems at times that he's talking about actually divorcing ourselves from NATO. And that would be the most counterproductive, short-sighted thing that we could ever do. NATO is the foundation of American national security policy, and we must do all we can to nurture it and protect it and strengthen it.
Former Congressman Charlie Dent, always appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Thank you.